bosome ne da etosoma akoma aduonu fi champion mienu ene aduonu nsia ne bosome mienu mu na yewe omanti aseman Ghana yema munyina adwo emmakwa abade mo ba Owia Kaseɛ mfonyini so kuma stadium amekom ehope na yewe www.owiatv.com sanso na Owia TV official ewo TikTok Owia TV Facebook Owia TV ewo YouTube bomadi follow ye subscribe na share ya na do adwen chenso e de ato ase e de amaye se de ye no samre no nsia bremu Kaseɛ body apade mfa kunwura kruchi wo semfo asem na wode asoma ye ya bremu ye mamunyina adwo emmakwa aba ebim afensem e de besomo no de edi mu akote ni animu no bi eni Ghana Mampanyi John Dramani Mahama adi adwumakuo bi anim ama won mapa ho ntoma wode atodwa sedi ebesi aboa ama man kanko etimi akonkan
US won mana musifo wo my Ghana mu ane wo bo adehye kokosese wokọ na okoche anase bread ya mano eboro so pe ane amra na ubedi
sa enso ana mansan kubata United Nation ya womo na musini mene wo kasa wakasa ade afa Russia abemu obedi oyene ewo maimu
edom Kaseɛ ewo asebedafie ene edom kuma wonmo ho nyina wonmo de wano atomu bi ede afa enipa sebe wonum ekowia akoda wa yaresabia no wo kyese bambonsem yentutuniye
na eno na woso for bambonsem so de atodwa sa yasabia wodo nyina fi na ekoi womfa ahyensode enijuma
ewe okowia akoda ewo mamprobi yaresabia koto ahyese enafo dunan yemfa ne nkotwene kukumu
ye frebi State of the Nations address abeka ensa echemoji fobusumi ne da toso aduonu nsia na Ghana Mampanyi John Dramani Mahama ebe frejency mpieni apaso no de omeyo pomesibre wode atodwa madama pina ena eka we hu ayaye ne Kaseɛ don riba ko edi animi di yede eba na yede abesom bomode na follow yen e wo Facebook ya na wode wadwenche e de ato wode amaye akenkanfo be no ayedi akoten na animri akenkan de amamo eyemme abusua pani Owusu Ediomi mene
Nana Kwame Ajiman Opambo
yemfa na se chenchenche mfa ma adwumaku a won masi atofo yi na yenko anim Jobi Rural Bank ebesi kasam dwade di a wo mo ye osimpitim primprim wo mo chi no obia eni honomo sa wo mo de aba no enna se die edi akagiremu e wo honomo wo madawroma ana yebe pense Kaseɛ mu na yede amamu afei Kaseɛ no enchiremu Ghana Mampanyi John Dramani Mahama edede me no ekasei wabomode amadwumaku a won adwuma won mo ba bedie B5+ Limited Steel Manufacturing na wo mudwumadi a won bedie nyina nade hu adwadi no odi kire enna Ghana Mampanyi di animu no okotwa ahomammu na ne Kaseɛ mu no ena odi tudwa wo kire mu se omeye ni soade hu ni titi hu ne nsam odi by the big pools eno no ehye kwan yie mu se de be ombe yi akwan ye monchi monka ene ade na oman Ghana ye ho haye na ahye nkobadie atimi akonkan no enye mpuntudwuma nko a ena Ghana ye di behu yen se yebetumi aye mpuntudwuma ne be konkan na niema ayeyi a ena de nso di mu akotene pa eno nti na wose ni nyina ka bomu na ese ba akofo ye muma na etimi adi animu na etimi akọ na etimi aba ama botaye esi na ni so no etimi aba abodwumadiko yi aba so no akire mu se ebedurumre bi no na oman Ghana enkoye se ebi ade de we nkwa na edi ye na emum enade nso no na ebibrem hanom no yebedi mu akotena yebedi hu dwadie ama niema etimi akonkan Ghana Mampanyi John Dramani Mahama.
It marks the expansion of Ghana's industrial ambition. The Phase 2 expansion of B5+ is not an isolated investment. It is part of a broader structural shift in our economy, from dependence on raw material exports to value-added industrial production. Steel consumption is a strong indicator of industrial development. Across emerging economies, per capita steel consumption rises in tandem with infrastructural growth, urbanization, and industrial expansion. Ghana's annual steel demand is estimated at over 1.2 million metric tons.
Hama wono ena yetene nka B5 Plus Limited Steel Manufacturing na wono plant ya na wono mu etwa homemu na ma hyase di dwuma no na wodi ensem sei etudwa wase no
US of A. One embassy wo my Ghana mu no de kokobon nsem eko ade ama Ghana de hia. One mo ayese nyame ya atomo a bosumi a yewo mu ade eko yesi afimu de enche kra na FIFA World Cup 2026 no baso one mo a epese ekobi no na wo bo won kokose eni kwase ebre de ama wo se wo de kohwe agokansi no okotena omani mu etraso yesa watomra emra ani ubedi anunti wo se bibia enhwe na enhye ya efa US minister will be to Cotinani, and I say what to call many moon, Okodi Jumabino, Sanshin in the pano and share not want to me any so. Now, Wabo Amaniano and a watcher say a bra, what this was what they man crata at the Abwa Wadmua, a pese a two quite echo US Manimuno, a dessa one more to me at Trimua and nay, or more be a quiet at the Atwa said a beya, and papi na able to me and young crata any now what the one actually on and then send trophy share more. One of my and the original Muna, what this are in Simetuja, a rough Orson, one no at a Kasaye, Nano and the World Church, we say, when we say Enche, not FIFA World Cup 2026, no air basso, Ghana this year Pina, and I want to be peso Bekobi, US minus so I want to say, I want more at the bone, one more mine hobra, and unti, and walker, no abo biako say, ya the mawa, no washe, not what to me Eddie and she and super pepe, na and run was say. Eni kwase okotena se na woche anase bread ya ma no okoburu so na visa na ede ma no o se anu nso enkyere wo se sabio ye de ma wa na chese wadu US mani mu anesa enhye wo ho a wo se nipa kron botumi di so ansana wonso watumi akọ na wakohwe bi ensem bi a owura rough Olson oditudwa enie.
So I think it's important to clarify every country has its immigration practices counts, right? And this is certainly true of Ghana as well. And when a government issues a visa to a visitor for whatever purpose, for whatever length of time, it's really incumbent upon that visitor to respect the laws of the country they are in. And that's both in terms of the conduct in the country, as well as how long they stay. Now, in our case, and there's an understanding of distinction here. The visa itself is a permission to apply for entry at the port of entry, right? So the visa allows you to get on the plane. Without the visa, the airline won't let you travel, right? You get to the border at the airport, it is the Customs and Border Patrol officer who then officially grants you entry into the country. It is that individual who will determine how long you have to stay. That the visa itself doesn't range a specific amount of time. It's that officer who has that. The standard, generally speaking, is 6 months. The officer can make it a different time frame. Now, if we're talking about a different kind of visa, for example, student visa, then it's usually for the course of study. Right? So,
rough Olson, no any penina, a shen and san wayan to tear a day after one more. Wapesa wansa ekatumi krata na wako USA memuna one moko share FIFA World Cup 2026 ni bina odisa ensemi etu jana obekobi
Russia foot your friends USA ni Mexico World Cup nana
na Canada nso kan
minya bia mekode me hwese o man be mamakwa ka bekwa akoto commentary na free wodi aba
yenkoi
abia yenko se ubisa na machi mu enti yenko enim ne yento so na yemfa emmamo woko amansan kubata United Nations wo mo ne fa ya na wo mo hwe no mo prehwehwe asomdwie e wo wiase nyina na United Nations Eminence Peace Ambassador era Madam Phyllis Henriches what in some ede atodwa ede afa abemu a wo bepie wo meyi mu na sabia kusabia kroto wa bedo Ghana e madodo na asuko ene ese ma bese aha wotwede wode wo nyina atiri ede kampa a wo yi wo ma ya asesade ene ade a ehun fonyi di ntra ha na ebo pata bibi se poasoche eje ne ho saka anwe e wo social ene ni media yi so na eno na nkra yensa kakra ne se owura ya meka na asem samre yie oni wo mema wabu ni ketem ade akwa kopie mu wo Russia ememu na enam sai no so ama nsan kubata United Nations ewura ya wo no ofrese ne be ya asomdwe bebe wakasa ade afa wa mo de krata ade ko Russia won ma na sini a wo my Ghana hanmo na tran ye e won krampumpuni mantamo mecha sagi Bednikov na so ye amo de krata de akoma no krata wo de akwa ni nyina ayi owi na wo mu nipa ba ya oba ebedi ye na ewrai chiremu a eye akasa ye de si ye niye chesi spectacles yi edubi na womo ade afidia etimi etwa mfonyini ade ahyemu a wode hye nani no wode ba ya wo wieye no wo sade womo a womo no womu di ahia ne bie no mfonyini about social media yi so a wo chema areho pa wagira so manu mu no wode ato Ghana fo meyi a womo kodi adwai mu se obi a wo hia mwa bia no wonto homa na womo homa na ono womo nkasa na womo enko womo emwa sadia Madam Phyllis Henriches editu dwa no ebi eni
o di kanu memba na wa ya hodam no mesre medem na mabotu igwa wonfre mokwem endura wada ya de mahwan because when I adwunim metina makasa say medical person dopamine serotonin oxytocin akofom enti mesafo no wa yara nkasa endura oye hana bibidru yara eni abrofo na dru kala seta mo pom ntro mo mukwa no mama mi oche me bibidru no mukwa na mkosi ya hwade no na wie yan de baby ane ha enti wondru no ona na wo he enti da mondru na me de basese ho nyipaduem da mondru na me de kasese aduma na ama ho wa amanande ho President Mahama mese on shop me sha se na acher munchi ya bribe maga na nyipiara ansana enjuma na me kwakwa wa abrochi wa ama ho no wa ye ne yo what the mark of my opinion? Munchi ochina. The moms of my opinion about the medicine, cosmetics, pharmacy, furniture, biara, biara, or no yesika, yet boy, mamma, him, but you are manande in a hustle. Dr. Henrys, but I practice only traditional African medicine. Okay. Now, Momono, Abrochuro, a home, middle papa.
Abusiafo Amansai Kubata United Nations Eminence Peace Ambassador Madam Phyllis Henriches ono ena yeteninka ewohwe
na oko apomre me yahodo a ene emrasebe dwafie edon kese ne don kuma no afam won mu akasa ede afabambo ensensem ho na nyina efa se enchere kra no amprobi oba bi kobowura mu ho a enam soma obi a wawo teche akoda wadi bese enafua nan kuya owi akoda na wode ne koe nyame nchade ya kire oba yi ne ho ensem ene kotu jamrasebe dwafie na won mu toato ho adwen se ye bepe ekwanpa e befa se de be ya de si no ebi enkosi biemu na first deputy majority shape ayema me comfort doyokujo anedi kai ekasa ye ewo emrasebe dwafie ono no wo kire se yemfa ne hiepa ento apam emfa bambon sensem ho ewo ayaresamia ahodo se de be ya se obi ekọ akosra obi wo ho anase se nipa kono ye kwa akohwe ne yade ye koje na wo woni akoda ne nyina abodoma no ye betumi abo wonu ho ban eyie na ose ayaresabia ene apomuden mi ahodo no ewo se bibiti se CCTV cameras ne yade afi bambon sensem no wonu mutumi toto ne kama na afi obi nso ba wotumi de woni edi sa nipa kono akini ye hwese nipa kono de apote ne wo beye ansa kra ne yatumi amano awura obasa bambon sense betumi amano atitoyie na nanu si ye ena deputy minority leader ayema me Patricia Apiejei ono so nanu tumu bi o so ye obatan na ya pa we se enke yanchi wo be ya ene nanke wode obi ba kwa ne sa enunti amaho akohia se wonu nyina ede wa no tumu bi na yetumi ye hyehye pa o ya pomuden mi ahodo se de be ya bambon sensem ebetumi asipi asita ensem a wonu mi de tudwa ewo mrasebe dwafie bi enie
that effective steps are taken to enhance security measures across public and private health facilities nationwide. Hospitals and clinics must strengthen access control, surveillance systems, and staff vigilance to foster similar incidents in the future.
If we allow people to just pop in at any time in the hospitals. That is when we have unguided situations where a visitor can just come and steal babies away. It is very disheartening to note that a mother, having carried a baby for 9 months, comes in, have a child, and even look at the condition in which he was in, the temperature rise and all that. It's something that any mother will feel strongly about. It is important. It is my wish and my plea that the administrators of these hospitals would take a very serious view of this situation and ensure that the measures that they are going to take will take immediate effect and to
she said ye awo any ewuya o esi etie na akoba ne se obi akwakoye chim na wachim na wawo awie na enkowiase akofa ne ba emu eya pa hye yawa sa nipa kono ofa mu mpogwei eye edom kase a omrasire dwafie ene donkuma ne fam nyina ena wonom ekasa edi ano baba ye kwan a ye befa so abambo nsense betumi adoto ne yie ewo ayaresamia
Abusia yeda so ejina sa arewosama esiye ewo mamprobi aya sabie yina enam saye no so ama oswafo hwe yapomden ensem so onumunyamfo kwabramenta akando enso ede afuturo de akọ ede ama aya sabia ahodo ni nyina wose obia senso de ewudin wose ebo ho a na ma ya sabia wo nyina kopem ebra ebia waponwo na wapue ni wadu babia abambofo security one more checkpoint wo na wupue de ene obetimi ayi wa de de afiri wo na ebom se wonye wura ayasabia ho no a enye wono na wo ba beyi sa udin no ede afiri ho enu nti wo mo nhyɛ no nso na obia mfa ne din emobɔ no na nya senso de ebehyem kena na agina brane na ya dansedie afei wo mo a won ma ba bekyem awo won mo ema ewo ho no enu nso wo mo nhyɛ no nso pa na afei ma mi din ene akoradi a yede atata ho nyina no nso no wo mo emfa ni dwuma enu nso betimi aboa ama bambo ho nsam no agya ne nam mo so pampe ama ne ma atimi akonkan.
Apart from the tagging, which is part of the clear protocols of identification of patients and, in this case, babies, name tags should not be taken off at the ward level. Name tags, both the parent, the mother, and the baby, should be taken off at the security gate, at the exit. That's why you take the name tags off after going through all the protocols, settling your debts, and you are exiting the health facility. That's where the name tags must be taken off. And that is one of the reasons why, or that is one of the means why we can avoid the incidents of baby swaps. We hear this a lot. Stealing of babies and people complaining that no, this is not my baby. In some cases, they come from the identification of the babies. So tagging babies and tagging parents are very, very important in under these circumstances. So these are the few ones. There are more. For example, I have told them that look, I do not want to go to any health facility and I see a bare land.
Aboa no wode ne huhu ene enwen ne bon edi a ye betrotro ede abobo ho no ebetimi abaye wosi akwan ede ama edurumre bia na yesi wei yasesa ne ba wei ba kodia wei ba kodia no na etimi aboa ama bambo nsam so no etimi aye kama ono nyamfo kwabena menta akanda wo hwe apomden ensam so
Accra High Court akwasetana na wahye se awura wanya mfinhie aduasa miensa Latifa Idrisu ayebetu biase wono ena abodemu okoko hia no ewo mamprobi polyclinic no yemfa no enkotwene kukum na obenim bosome de toso ennan won fimpinu de adunsia mu no yesa edna bepie mu ewa asendibia na afi asenie no atumi atwa so no na watwe no na court no ahye se yemfa no enkotwene kukum na enipa ye kana asem Latifa Idrisi bosome yewene de toso dun wotwe na ebeto odwa se CCTV a ewo mamprobi ayaresabia hodmo no won mu kodoso do so niema mu hwehwe mu na ana mu se ma mi kwa ase wa moade bi e de ahye ne buku de a wode ekro ne no ana mu do so mu no omu se eraba bi a wono okowoye ena no benada bosumi de toso edu enson no ono ne ba ena saa awurai akwa tabiri na kude wode no ekro yi nyano ena nam so ema CCTV ni mu no won mutumi de so mu a ehwe se ene ho anie ene kodi saa ensemoni wo mu di akire a wo mu ekoche Latifa Idrisu na eno ene wode ne kopie mu ewo Dansoma Divisional Police Command nim se wonum emfa ne ntwene kakra na afei enhwemu entimi enkoso no kwasem ni apolice for enhwemu kakra edikan wonum ye ne ma ne beto dwase no kwasem ni akwada no enya ne ba na emomu no eye obi a wakwa na de kan se cesarean section bi wonum eye ni bi na wonum wie ye ba ene wakwa akotam eno enam so mantem so womo ahwehwe batan na chiri kwan a omoje abofra no ede ekomana no kwasem ni womo hwehwem na eye no krese ampa eye wono ena ne ba ene no ene se de Ghana emra ene nhye esitie ne se okobokro no na ne titiri kura ne se wasa akɔwie nipa de ene na watomra enu nti ene ena abrewa eyipuma wokwan mu a wode Latifa Idrisu a woye dwadini ewo enkran eho ene otonton ne niema wonya mfinhia aduasa miensa akɔto ahye se wonfa ne nkɔtwene kukum na nyame ya atomo a obenim bosome de toso bese ennan no wonsan emfa ne megina adakam
Awurade Yesu Kristo ya adomo ogefo bosome ne da etoso aduonu nson Ghana mampanyi John Dramani mama ebeko man Ghana mrahye bedwafie na wode omeyi ho brabo ne ho pemesibre wode akwakoto bejasede ama abedwafo a omeya soma wo mpesua ahanu aduosun ensia no musi ya nemu ahanu aduosun ensia no wo mate na nsentwofo nso afa ato apeten ewo efri afi apema hankro aduokono emiensa no mu 1993 di besi ne no omeya mamra afi apema hankro aduokono mienu ehyem kena ewo article 67 a emma kwan se afi muwa bia no mampanyini ebeko man Ghana mrahye bedwafie botaye ne se wodomeyi wakom masika edwadie sikasam amamuo ane bibie ekobia no wode ho pomasibre na akwakotodwa ebinum efri se ebra flight lieutenant John Rollins bedi mfinchia bese edu nwotwe wobetena akonwa so mfinchia be edu nwotwe no wanko man Ghana mrahye bedwafie amfa sansem ibi ankotodwa enti enne no abakwasama ekeka ede akose John Ejekumkofo amadapa ba odi awuo wono ene oba ye obehye mu kina wo hyase a na odi se adwumadi ya enne yi aba yehwe enu tinkra bekensa ne free the government opanyina wono ene da wo nyuma ano ononyamfo mahama ayarega a wono ye edom dotoro no kendifo enim no echiremu a ogefo bosom ye February a ne de toso aduonu enson Ghana mampanyi John Dramani mama ebeko na wakwakoyesa amamre ene amane no ebra won mu echire nsem no mahama ayarega echiremu sei.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic, is scheduled to deliver a message on the state of the nation on Friday, 27 February 2026 at 10 a.m. in accordance with Article 67 of the Constitution. In line with the convention of the House, honorable members are urged to be punctual and seated in the chamber by 9:15 a.m. as it is inappropriate for members to enter or exit the chamber after His Excellency the President has entered the House to deliver his address. The Speaker, in view of the President's address on Friday, the House will sit at 10 a.m. on Thursday, 26 February 2026 to enable the House adjourn early in preparation for the address. Pay attention. The President is coming on Friday in the morning. Normally, the place has to be prepared for the President. If we sit in the afternoon at 2, by the time we leave the chamber, it will be difficult for the clerks and his team to prepare the place for the President's visit on Friday. So we will sit at 10 a.m. on Thursday so that we can adjourn early and then leave the chamber for the clerk to prepare the place for the president.
Drone ekendi fonti wahye ne yawade edi animu ansana na fuadio no nso na wo busumi beso no wose wo mokọ atrase ntem wo no masore ntem nyesa wo mokọche na awia na omienu no mbekọ a ho nsiesie no ansana mampanyini beba no no ebeye den pa sanso na eda no wose anyawia no pa besa no nkromo mpamu no na Ghana mampanyini aba beduru fie wo no ma wonwie ansana mrahye bedwani bia atimi atunuto ede afiri wo no ma ye hwe animu ensema wo de beba betudwa
Edom Kaseɛ omrasibe dwafie kanifo ayura mahama yarega ne wakasa omrasibe dwafie wabra na wadina no etukoko nsam ni na nkyere na aban ebo amane se koko bua yeto ewadwaman so na yade sebo na hwan aba fom enunti esika ewosenka wotua ne boto ba ko bia edema nananom akuafo no enyade so betumi atua ne se enunti wahwan bi ede afri so enonam so mabeto odwa se sawewani kiremu ewo meyatoye atifi mantamu a eno nananom akuafo fobi atigu monten so ene won mani abre den twimomome ye ni abre ko ye ntiase nananom asem nyina ene se som betim fifiri akote hasuo na afi wakodo koku ama na aba na wakari na wiase abanse ebo a wodem a wo hwan so de ene won munti bida na no enura mahama yarega ade tudwa no wo kire se abagina wosi ye no sebe enye boapaye aban timi nkotam sika woni emfama akuafo basa na oman no ekoboka enunti aban ni sisa agina na eye ni yiemu anananom akuafo kra enimu se adwaman so koko ne buo kofom enunti se aban teso a na odise otusa anamo no mahama ayarega.
For our economy, we've also committed ourselves to managing our time efficiently so that we don't discuss the same thing 10 times just because you think that cocoa politics is what can help your party. I can assure you that the demonstrators, we know who they are. We know who they are. We know who the demonstrators are. We know who the demonstrators are. And we know their real motivation. We know their real motivation for demonstrating. And we know that genuine cocoa farmers know that there is a world crisis. And that world crisis is definitely going to affect their bottom line, which is the income that they will earn from the cocoa sector. And so you cannot give what you don't have, even if you promised it. Even if you promised it, you cannot give what you don't have. Because what you are proposing is what you did and you collapsed the economy of Ghana. You put cocoa board in debt over 36 billion Ghana cedis. Over 36 billion Ghana cedis in terms of the debt that you push cocoa board into. All of that is the cocoa farmers' money. So we are not going to pander to those sentiments. The practical problem is there. The farmer appreciates it, and I can assure you that the farmer.
We ayo panyina wata Edom Kaseɛ no anu my Ghana mrasibe dwafie ana woto kai kabobo nyum se enipa wade bi a woye no onyame ahu nti wonimomo a ɛhyehyɛ akyire kɔhyɛ nananom akuafo kutupa na wonim sɛ de koku akuafo ankasa wonum sitie nti sɛ yɛ donkuma ne sɛ wei ana mbegina so de agye amanwesɛmu nimu a wei ne enye yi no mu jaka ɛsom Ghana cedis no pepepe aduasa ensia ɛde to honom a ene wo mu na etutu saa ka na nti we de enkonkosi hwe owura mahama yarega ne nsem bi eno no
ye nyina yenim se abra kokon teso yi ba ye nananom akuafo bi no atia dankraye mu eyo ye cheche bosu dwetire ade kire aban ne sebi aban na yi won makwa wanka no kre amfa nkire wo ma ye se wo no be ko afom si eduru anum a ye besoe na wudu won ka kire akra ne se ye nto aso supo ahini wo mo a wo ye mo hwe nye nto ye kire pa na wo mo eya wo mo hwirigya mu na ne nyina yenim se nkenkro no nkrotro ne ade no atoye mantam wo ene apoye mantam na no wo keke ka wo a ene de wo mate sin krampumpuni mantam wo mo tisi wo ma nya biaye bia sese koko board won mo se ekese wo ho no e ho no mo kodada mo sa ata ya che buku ne si apaso na wo mo de ya che kokko mpanyimfo se mampanyi John Dramani mama se na dwene se ne wonu begemu ne no mo agemu akina ene e bon nya de o begemu mo so mbayo ya che na twemu tan setaya no maka de ache Ghana mampanyi ni se wo se bo se na wo se no oni so no onya ase wayi won makwa no oba kwa ne ni abrese krodom won watedem di kojade aboni tie na obie se de wo ka anwensem no wo kire ni nsem mu e de kosi se
Bia me ko ebetara sa until say obi ebe hu say ye ni abra kan ye ntwa kwan enfrisa wi ema ha wasi no fa ema ha anya wasi no na si ayeden na ai first see who pay no e dai phone pay bia bia randiabe waji 800 million asana ni ye first allowance 400 million ya atoka mienu yate ne atoka mienu ida bit bia me no sa koto foforo ayeden no mudi ka koto ka mudi eska koto ka ayeden mudi te kaba e kaba ye koto ka ye omka kwa ye kan kwa yate abre ye kan kwa ye tell me consiste akakwa here 22nd February na me consiste here adai ya ye gwe nwa so say is abre mo kan kwa ye nimu ministers ahuro nyina ye tete ombe so mo kwaje s grasha na ye di ekua for de kakra no mo sisi ye ti ase na ye ti ase kira mo ba mo kunye mo ye bibia ye ti ase na se me to me kwaje ba ku ani no adini no bank na ha o me ka kira se wurade ni ate se o ti am ka o ensida adini aba to wurade o kwa yemu no de wurade la bank na aba to no oboka ntu be ka kira se msika no ntia what be da ye ti ase se ye ti ase
problem get to go so want so press no ababi ana gina no o de tie na mi o ma koton so me ka tie o ma koton o ayi de gude o ma koton de pe so na se ko wa press no that is now this wa woni be kokwa for wa ayen enti ya de ya se abodada no o fa ya ko ni ni asa obi aba ya teso anu a ni ada ho no
ederi fana se akuafo bi na mote se wo mo kasa nsese kaba ye ntutuka emfa nkotoka na abede na ade akoka a wo mo ni abra wo mo chem se mampanyin mfa wo mo sika emfa ma wo mo ebodada no ene ne yensu ye gina so ne ye de asada chenche e de ama ya boafo wo mo na am ye te ba bi wu ene nya asem ketwa kasie twagu ye ode wasom ye ode nyina no e mo pafie wano bia me adi ene ye nya ahoden adwene ye sap eno nti enya asem ketwa kura wa hanom any premium any super premium no yati bi di aboboye mposo na ye de jambi so ye bi oil no any yummy tomato paste no omsa de yeast wo ba pa ya gracie no omde kan ho pe ofada mpam ni bi de to so wutim se wudi a wadwiri mu da ho ye de nse wonsam ne mawo na ye ani tete be se ba kokra na no nsi abo a wodu ani fa so hrr no wawie emuani te emuadwiri mu da ho no mo kra na ekɔ school no kra de nya ho de timi di sua de na wukuru nso sisi mu aye de ya mo timi di aye adwuma eno nti nkoto mofu bia enkonoa na makabo ni nkogu ni sisi mu abra wontimi nya adwuma ene fie no abi ma be ma na abeto nka okakanka ewo mpam na ne matimi akonkan ewo ho no mo muntobi nko fie mo amukɔ ye nya se ye nti na okoto kabo bia na okoyo no e de amo ahoho a eba wodi sa premium any super premium emo no a de jambi soya bean oil any yummy tomato paste ndi aya obebon 100 Ghana otimi tumbo 500 ema no ekonkan e de ema ewo ho no mesamo amode mani echem wadum no ye ben Oyepa FM sa enso na Achemfo Hotel ye ne ndi nhwanimu ewo patase ema refi say wodwani chemu ewo enkrampuni mantama Pass and Gardens Junction say Junction okohonoma honso wonsabe kan amaniema etimi akonkan ewo ehonomo Frey 0244 615117 0244 615117 ewo ehonomo yenko dwabin rural bank na niema entimi enkonkan ewo honomo na anu ina mehya asesem no mudi nkomo na mapebesia na mede akwakotoka ene ani donre ni sima ni agya ne ede amawo na ese niema ekonkan ede amawo ewo honomo a enche obu na de na de be adwuma na niema ekonkan a enu nti kɔ na asempa loan no wonum fa bi emfa mawo na bibia entwetete sakati akon besaw niema na ba beduru ayemputupuru sika wudi koyie no ho asem na akwa atwe se kane ba ebunu yi bomoden na fo ani chem ewdwapi Bank seni tete kakra bi na wonsa aka besia na wode kwa asempa loan no ye wo batampa loan ye maame no ye yere no ye nua ba no emma wudwadie ne nto ape na nyinhim se subonto esipuani sika na sa adwiri ayete sone enti bomoden fo ani chiremu ne ma wo batampa loan no savings account current account fixed deposit meda chinti investment yesusu microfinance ene ne yekeke ka ho nyina ha ne ye besi nkonwa tan konwa so ya chechiremu no yi de bebobo wo na ade adidwuma ama ne ma atimi akọ enkan asante dwaben eho ene ase Kaseɛ ne ewo ne maremfi se atonsu edwanom no yabo modern ameno so ye de yedwaben ejo so onwefuma so abonwe adehyeman gardens ene Roman Hill pankro no aboso enyina awokwa wonsa ebeka modern na phrase 0544745856 and 0271464327 obambo yento aso
jo na Catholic Bishop Conference wo my Ghana mu ana wonu de wano atukoko nsem mu bi na omodi ato aban anim se wonye nhye pamfante wo se de be ya se de yesikase mu ha woni ade esi ekoye wo wiase efa koko hu no my Ghana ekoko sem no ye betumi aboho bra eye na wo de sanse mitudwa na wo chiri mu se enne se wo hwe adwama ahodo so a koko buo no tia na eti bafume ba de sa na oman nso ye ho eka adwa mu ewo ho na wo chiri mu ase wo ko ni titru pankronketua mu a wonu a etetewo kwadwuma ya na wonu ye koko no nso ena bua ema wonu botum esi ede enu nti se ekoba da Matthew kwasi jamfi wono ena Catholic Bishop Conference no dano ensebia odi tu dwanie
ya kenyina ense koko eba Ghana hasi koko akuafo ena abane ate sika akuafo no nkoso yenya ne yede mom na abana tie ni sa ede akora Ghana mane ede aka ya na Ghana wo ho ede akora Ghana ma ye tititete kora wo si dabre University of Ghana no ene Kwame Nkrumah yi dabre kuafo sika mintua no okobode ama kuafo dai yan fa afi ba kope en sei mfinfia be se aduonum ana se aduosia koko Ghana koko kuafo ede aboa Ghana na afi ba kope ujina so se meti mu akatua so Ghana adwuma yefo nyina otu omoka so omopa akatua ntumu a omoye den omoye yekire na hwa wati se abanate na adwuma yeni bi akatua so pen yese ye akuafo ena wo kasa asemu ede akire omokora oye a woji omo tax wo se tua social security ye kokko akuafo de woji ye tax wo ma ye social security ye koton ye niema waji so mfaso ni gum no de kakra bi wo de amawe se ni aka no me de ye Ghana nyina yi wan na Ghana ha kuani hwan
Eda Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference ano Reverend Father Matthew Kosi Jamfi ani yitieni
Abusua kane nanka ya Bureau of National Intelligence na ensesa demo ema ekoye National Investigations Bureau na wohwa na chese eni National Investment Bank ni nyina NIB akodi share toda wo ka hunhu ne eye bambode no na hu de hesika krabia no ene mi no ka se osofo hwe fisam ensam so aswansem ra chebedwani ononyamfo Mubarak Muhammad Muntaka ede abetu dwasa wo mo ye nhyehyɛ sɛ ne be yom besedin no na sɛ ne ya na etu afra no no enye sa ebiem ɛwɔ hɔ no mo yɛne yewra Richard Kumado a waben ɛwɔ bambo nsemu ɛna edi nkomo yewra wada ma nwumre de epesie bisa ne sɛ enkra bia ba wo ye bambo ni a wo hwɛ bambo mu nsem ni ade sɛ sa NIB mienu no ɛya na ɛho nsem no ne ka ayeka na ɛde ama bambofo na na hello.
Bachoti Mikana.
Aha, fede me chewo nkapa.
Names have identities and names are symbolic in nature. And here Juma or BNI no. There are places you get when you say you are from the BNI or BNI where you are coming from because they are a solid institution in Ghana. Obesisa dey no you in NIB. Oko kan so for NIB na ma for business of a bank wa now. Open deposit now. Okay, the problem, safety challenges for the frontline officers. And for some of us, change the name back to the BNI. And now, I won't make your argument about the NPP doesn't want the BNI to be doing investigations and they should just be gathering intelligence. And I said, no, you don't know exactly what you are talking about and you don't know what you are saying. Because the end product of every investigation is intelligence gathering. And that is what they formulate and they humanize in order to make business purposes, business decision making purposes, and national policies. So that argument is flawed and it is weird. Then the other one, almost is at 526, intelligence at no Mokofa at 10:30 by sir at 10:30 no can say a minister should be responsible for national security. And to issue NDC, Mutakana Minister of Interior, but Oma making minister responsible for what? National security. In that regard, our political ideology and principles, President Kufuor power, Francis Poku was the coordinator and the minister. President Mills power. Devolate was the coordinator, and when he left African Union, Yadoko became the coordinator. When President Kufuor came to power, is in power, they prefer a national security coordinator. Anytime NPP is in power, they prefer somebody to become a minister for national security. And Utie Mutaka here is complaining about politicians having an oversight responsibility of a national security issue, which disagree. They are the highest level of decision making, which reflects political governance and security governance. We should not be having politicians popping their nose into that area because they don't know what they do and they don't have the expertise. And to me, this is the long and short of all this matter. So you call National Security Council meeting, and you're the National Security Coordinator that chairs the meeting for all the National Security Council institutions, and that is the way it must be. Have you heard anybody changing the name of FBI or anybody changing the name of the CIA? Or anybody changing the name of the MI6, MI5 in London? They all does investigation, and intelligence gathering. So changing the name was a wrong ideology, a porous decision, not thoroughly thought through, and it lacked merit. So changing the name back is a good thing to do, and it's long overdue because for some of us, people like me, we waged a crusade about 6-7 years ago that this name you change to NIB. We've created problem for us. We have Bureau of National Investigation, which was part of the BNI. Most of the BNI are making a National Signal Bureau, and you created problem for us. So change back the name and let the structure streamline, and we'll be fine in this country.
Yenim said you one kasa o pedigree e baba mbom nsam ne ade ne wonu no maka. Eya na aban ni sig na ye bi etesa. Ya na wo mo ne mu edi nkitan wansa na.
No, they don't. Politicians, you know they are not resourceful. They just destroyed everything in this country. And that's the problem I have with politicians. Stay in your lane. Don't bring your nose into security because it is the BNI is the only institution standing in this country. When you destroy the country is doomed forever. So stay far away. And don't bring your things into the BNI affairs. Particularly when you do not have expertise. They don't ask anybody anything. They just go ahead and change everything, change it, they commit fraud and criminality. That is what they do. And for some of us in the front line, you've created security safety challenges for the front line, which was not necessary in the first place.
It is said you been more Casania Sanate dia. Now by no SSA at the Bureau of Investigations. And you're not woman been phantom hoyerekete. Sanabaya dachi be a bindy bar. Won't mean some fun and sun can be no. And also no one by agents.
I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. Because this political fraud and political negligence and political unconsciousness, it is one of the reasons why it has destroyed this country to where we are. So I agree with that one perfectly.
Okay, may I say you may and what I did. Absent Yanni or Richard Commodore, Wabe, our Bambo, Animu, and some Suwano, and Yanin Ecobo and Como at the FA. Edia, Eco National Investigations Bureau, Nanka, Bureau of National Investigation. No question near ye, Minims or Pambo, Sono, Emma, Wadney, Cassini, Toda, Yakra Jensen, Jofu, ye, Kankasiana, not you, baby,
a say National Investment Bank, and I say a year. Bureau of National Investigation. Yes, it's a National Investigation Bureau. Na chese o mine kasa said and work and amanyo semunti.
Tianya mrakete said and work and yen fantatu be intimate san bim.
Bambon semu de yen fanya amanyo semu.
Piao. Yanko.
Abusia mrasebe dwani Dominic Niti was sanso eka bedwoku a won mu hwenuane ni kwadwuma ho nsem so ewo mrasebe dwafi ho no na wade ato edwasa pualugu multipurpose dam a na won mu gusu a wo ye na abansesa ba ye ena ndi semanyuku no eye se won be hwehwemu e de afasika esum US dollars no pepidum yenu a wo chese won mu de akohwem nanso adwuma papa bia enche da enko so honom na no ana Dominic wu echese besa bosumi dunum enie ena aban fiti asese oye nhwemu na enso no wontimi mfa asem bia matu dwase asomasi anaso benten adisika wo huntiama dwumadie no aka ensensemu ano ene woka ede akere aban ne sese wo hwe na oni nyina so bia wonhwe na omadwuma no entimi enkoso sanse enye emfie du ene yede be nhwemu ede afa ho.
We are going to finish. You are going to use 10 years to finish the investigation. This is 1.5 years, 1 year, 3 months, or 2 months, right? And you think that you haven't finished it. If you think that project is so important, you will not use 13, 14, 15 months to do investigation. That you can use just even 2 weeks to finish. This investigation, 1 month you will finish with it. Why are they using 13, 14 months to finish the investigation? I think they are not serious about it, and they are passing the buck. If you know how contractors are paid, nobody can unless you are very corrupt. It will be very, very difficult for anybody to say that he pumped in money there. If you award a contract to a contractor, for example, you pay that contractor something we call mobilization, 15%, not more than 15% mobilization to go and start the process, right? And then that contractor, before that 50 mobilization is paid, there's something we call bank guarantee or insurance guarantee. So that money is not for free. You have to guarantee it. So if that work is not done, your government can pull his money back. So you don't lose any money. At no point in the Ministry of Defense did I award a contract to any contractor and pre-give the
Emrasebe dwani na ukwa bedwoku a wo mo hwenuane ni kwadwuma ho nsem so emrasebe dwafi a oka ho bi.
Aboche festival enuanom mo efutu wonom ene wo hye fan e wo mfimfim mantem na ahwe nwa abakwasem kakra wo mo kiremu a kane no na nananom a ya abosomfo na wo mo gi nipa enipa na afi bia so ano wo mo de kokopem se wonom ekoye ehwo amamre ne amane stress anse nipa no bi na wo mo firi mo dodo ekowi ache na wo mo koji jata enim no so edeba ene no nso enipa bewua ne sa to wo mo sa akoye ehwo amamre ne amane ene ekowi se ene wo mo mfofrote anase adoa emfa emra afi bia na eno no wo ma hyefa na de besin na afi bia so wo mo konguram ekoche aboa yi enim no so ede be ya amamre ne amane abotae ne se wo mo de kai nananom eyi fi ene wo haw ni musio edi free ekwa mu afi dia nso beba so oforisio bosome ne da etoso aduo enumu ede akwakosi eye kotonima abosome ne da etoso miensa ewo winiba emfimfim mantem na eno enenei mene wo ekase nananom atankonwa tibira kasa no mo etua no danso afom nyina ahwe no mapaw eho ntoma sa wo mo yo ne ntem na afi abo ahoho ene timamufo enkae se de be ye bre so on beba no mabebo mo afi botaye ene se wo mo de besi ahemfie kokroko ewo no mo na abo ama niema akonkan nenyi gate a otoso enso wo pa ho ntoma no ensem sei ene odi tuja
ntasi ba ɔwɔde obia so bi na yedi afe no sɛ yɛ ne yie a ntumi pii na ɔba efiefie kapɛdɛ ahoho baba ahoho wɔba obedidi wɔbɛnom wɔbɛda ne nyinaa no ɔyɛ ntumi bi a ɔba ma ɛhɛn a yɛte kurom ha nti masrɛ dɛ obi asiesie ne fie dwumadi biara so a wɔbɛdi no yɛmfa yɛn ho nhyɛm na yɛnhwɛ ma biribiara ɔnkɔ yie mfa ma ɔman si
ya ne wasam anyin na municipal chief executive atamensa wono nso de atodwa na wahye nananom ebose wono nso be de ombetumi bia se de be ya wo mo ebeboa ma nema atimi akonkan ewo ehonom.
With the Security Council on Chakra, we are going to put certain things in place. We will ensure that Afia Watchery to protect. And don't tourism the local economy, we must attract investors. There are people who are ready to invest here in Winneba. And I think that and so this is a chance to tell the whole world we are ready to promote peace so that development.
Enti eno wasam no na wo mu ese wo mu de yakuturuku bo nyina ebebe mu a ba ko a wodi nyini pa ewo mu eye ahete powers yes am beka ya enya asem keto akro ni buko mbanku ntokwa na enya asem keto wo beba na wo ba pa wontuma na sa agudie no nso no wo mo dibi ewo ase
Ghana ntare na fe etam ahodo emu mfidi juma ena mpanyimfo ekyese wo behye na aban ne ankrankra nyumaku ahodo wonum atumi akabo msede be obetumi enyane saa enyumaku ahodo no na sansem beto dwa ewosuga kope wabra omai sofa be die kire wo hwe adwadie eni ku adwuma mu adwadie ni mfidi juma eso wura Samson ahi woni wonum akabi ewom ekosusa adwene ede efa ho ane na wo kire se wonum ne nsakire pi na ba sede be ya eba entema ena afi etam mfidi juma na obetumi apegem na aboa ama edinyuma nso aba Samson ahi
omo ene Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry training ama players omo and as actors in the government industry no enti amumpa info no ebai say amuba 2 days dialogue basically to look at the challenges more industry no no efisi particularly omo epam ne manu wi no so mpese omo de ko amanane a problems ya omo efisi no ya no mo can say more challenges with the customs delays at the port ne sane manu na enti the program we sha ya to say the players in the industry no asia na yenhwe kwan ya be fa so a sa problems no ebetimi aridisu na standard nso ebu o ye ntoma no wie na say amiti international standard na untimi nko US market untimi nko European market untimi nko other large market na chese onde ma na why no kwa nti yes na be ya ebetimi aproduce nyama ebemiti standard.
Enama me Harriet Gaiwe director Edema West Africa after ekuo ne fa ehye trademark Africa so wono nso kasebi na wo chese wo niema hodo bi wo ho awase yi na kwam se de be ya ebeboa ma adwadie no atimi akosototin.
The reason for dialogue is that there's no one person who will come in to say that, look, this is what is failing the industry, so let's go in and address challenge A. It's to listen to everybody so that the policy maker is informed to develop, to come up with a holistic approach to support the industry. And that's why we are here today. And it's all part of our ongoing partnership. And the Ministry of Trade has been very, very supportive. As I've always said, it's all about being supportive to us as implementing partners to provide an enabling environment for the donor community, but as well as for the beneficiaries, and in this case, the private sector. In the textile and garment industry.
I wano kwanchirefo ba abibirima toye ha no mo a after adwumakuo no trademark Africa oda ano nene na yeti yi
sɛ baako mienu a aba saman kɛse ɛna same boachi di frɛ wɔde aba ɔse nkyɛn kɔma Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ɛna afei sam ɔsɛsa akɔdeɛ AKSOS na deɛ wɔka nyinaa sɛ John Dramani Mahama de nada ɛne tɛkyɛmade ɛna bɛdada Ghana fo bibia ɛkyerɛ sɛ wɔnwe ɔman yi akuafoɔ ho sɛ deɛ wasi ateboɔ no so ɛde afiri ɔpepem aduasa enum no ɛde aba empem ɔpepem aduonu enum no deɛ ɛha adwe paa ɔsɛ ya Jones ɛna ɔsɛ monko so a na mompem enkomonim Owia TV saa so na baba ye Aringagua Salifu Ajambore wono so di bia ba se Ghana fon koma ntom yem na John Dramani Mahama ebebo moden na watoto ne mama bibia aye fam ewo hodomo obo pon ye de nkoi
Abusua Kaseɛ bɔ ne yɛ de si ɛwɔ hanom na se enkoma newsroom aboafo ya Grace ɛwɔ MCR sanso na Elijah enso ɛwɔ hon mu bi afei Nana Yaw one munyina etuatua Mr. President nom ana toto niema kama newsroom die odu ani chirimu a kuku achando sanso na akoso ya somua na yensamufo ayewura Benedict Asante yeboa akenkanfo anwumre eyemme Nana Kwame Achimano Pambo na
abusua pani Owusu Aduomi yes also na afe brighto enso ene ne dom edi Owia Sports no edi abramo ene ntime nkokotoko coach ben ena say won mo epe no house of folk share kotoko wie no say na ekọ Blasters call up ne ne ekọ nyina no aha na obenya the details enti yaba mo nyina mo ene hwe